Welcome to Prescribing Lifestyle, the podcast that's all about empowering you to live your healthiest, happiest life. I'm your host, Dr. Avi Charlton, and each week we'll dive into the latest research, practical tips, and inspiring stories to help you optimize your well-being. From nutrition and fitness to mental health and mindfulness, we'll explore every aspect of lifestyle medicine, giving you the tools you need to make informed decisions and take control of your health. Whether you're looking into preventing disease, managing chronic conditions, or simply elevate your quality of life, Prescribing Lifestyle is here to guide you on your journey to wellness. So, sit back, relax, and get ready to embark on this transformative adventure towards a healthier, happier you. Let's dive in. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Prescribing Lifestyle Podcast. So today we've got Petrina Phillips to have a chat with me, and she is a registered nurse for over 20 years. She married a farmer and she's got 3 teenagers. She's had quite a journey on her lifestyle, and we're going to get her to tell us what she's gone through. And she's now become a nutrition network advisor, lifestyle practitioner. She comes from Ballarat, and she's got quite a story to tell. So thank you very much, Petrina, for joining me in this episode of Prescribing Lifestyle Podcast.
Thank you so much for having me, Avi.
Thank you. I'll get you to tell us your story. You said you've had quite a journey. Tell us what you've gone through.
Yeah, so like you said, I'm a registered nurse, and I have been for over 20 years now. I suppose this kind of starts a couple of years ago for me. So I already had, 3 kids and lived on a farm and was working, and I sort of wasn't in the best health, you could definitely say. I was overweight and I had high blood pressure. I had problems with reflux, and, the chronic conditions were sort of creeping in that, turning 40, not very healthy stage of my life. And I have to credit my much younger cousin, who about 2 years ago asked me to be a bridesmaid in her wedding.
Yep.
And I kind of thought, how wonderful, that's very nice that she asked. But I was instantly like, oh my goodness, I am not in any sort of shape to be in a wedding. Just, as a female, you're kind of like, I don't really want to be older in a bridesmaid dress and not looking how I really want to look. So I sort of, at that point, I went to look at Michael Mosley's latest book.
Yep.
So I followed him way back in his 5-2 days. And then when I thought, okay, what am I going to do to try and get in shape? I looked into his new book, which was The Fast 800 Keto.
Okay, yep.
So I guess I would have heard of keto. I'm supposing it was still very much around in that time, but I don't remember it ever really registering as something that I should try until that moment.
Okay.
Yeah, so I read his book, nearly instantly, dropped the big carbs, stopped the breads, the rices, the potatoes, all of the things that I had been a staple in my previous diet.
Yep.
I fairly quickly, because it's encouraged in that, to go down to 2 meals a day. So I went to just having lunch and my evening meal. Tried to cut snacks out as well. And I was very surprised that, it definitely takes tweaking, and it definitely is hard to adjust to, but it wasn't as bad as I thought. like, this sort of way of eating, you're not hungry,
Yeah.
those cravings pretty quickly stop. And I had a nice gradual weight
Mhm.
loss, sort of doing that I lost 20 kilos,
Okay.
before her wedding. So that was
Amazing.
in about 5 months,
Okay.
and felt really good at that stage. And if anything, more passionate about low carb and
Yeah.
looking more into it.
Okay.
So then I just kept going. So I was madly consuming all the podcasts and the
Mm-hmm.
books I could. And I remember like I was walking a lot more by then,
Mm-hmm.
and, listening to Gary Fettke. And
Mm.
I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I've never thought this, never seen this, never come across it. And yeah, it was one of those kind of moments where you're like, wow, this is something we should be doing.
Yeah, yeah. So you lost 20 kilos in 5 months.
Yeah, and then gradually, sort of another, I suppose, 6-ish months, I lost another 10, just very slowly.
Yep, yep.
So it's around 30 kilos that I lost all up.
Wow.
Um,
This is mostly diet change rather than exercise or anything else?
yeah, look, I didn't push exercise to start with. I think that just kind of gradually came with
Mm,
feeling better.
mm-hmm.
I just wanted to get out and walk more.
Yep, yep.
And that, yeah, I've done, now I do a lot of walking. I love
Okay.
walking.
Yep.
I try to make myself do weights because I know they're good for me, but
Yep.
walking's really the thing that, yeah, feels like it keeps my body fit and moving. Yeah.
Sure. Great.
Yeah.
And what other changes have you noticed? Did you feel any different?
Yeah, a
Yeah.
lot of changes. Yeah.
Mm,
So, I mean, that I instantly pretty much lost reflux. Like,
mm.
acid reflux was nearly gone, I would say, within a month.
Okay, great.
Um, the high blood pressure, that I went off my medication for that probably 4 or 5 months, into it.
Okay, great.
So, I mean, they were two big changes that
Mm,
I was really excited to see.
mm-hmm.
Then, yeah, I guess more energy, just I felt more awake, just less brain fog, and just that sluggish
Yep.
lethargy that, so many people say, oh, I'm just so tired.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, you are so tired. You don't have to be, that tired all the
Yeah.
time. We're really working against ourselves
That's
sometimes.
right. That's right. That's
Yeah,
amazing. I love
thank
it.
you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So then, were you working as a nurse back then, or did you change jobs?
So I was actually in management then.
Mm-hmm.
So I was a nurse manager, and I, while doing that job, I began studying. So, like you said, I went and found Nutrition Network,
Mm, yeah.
and I did my advisor course through them.
Mm-hmm.
That was in this time where I just couldn't stop. I was listening to every podcast, watching all the YouTubes, doing everything I could.
Yeah.
So I kind of, smashed through that course, loved it. And then I started talking to the place I worked and saying, what can we do?
Yeah.
I, I've got all of this that I want to share with people in our community. What else can we do?
Mm.
And yeah, that they were very, very helpful in that. I was able to do a lifestyle program for the community for a year.
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah, it
Tell,
was really,
okay, tell us a bit more about that lifestyle program.
yeah. So I guess it was everything I'd learned from that course, plus all of these amazing minds
Mm-hmm.
that are in this space into it was an 8-week course that we got to run for free, which was such a draw card for, you know, community members to come and be a part of. And
this is in the general practice in Ballarat? Is that it?
No, I'm in a little country town, so I'm about 45 minutes out of Ballarat.
Okay,
yeah,
all right.
in a little tiny, you know, excellent health service. So yeah, we got to get quite a few people through that in that time and see some amazing turnarounds in their health. And yeah, it was a big learning curve for me. It was a completely different way of nursing. You know, really looking at lifestyle, making it so individual for that person, for the things that they wanted to work on. And, you know, not everyone's main aim was weight loss, or some people thought the main weight loss was the main thing to aim for, but then they really enjoyed the other aspects that came along with bettering your health and feeling better. And, you know, people that have, you know, pain in their knee and they're seeing a physio for months, and then, you know, 3 weeks into it, they're like, that pain in my knee's gone, and just amazing things that you're like, yes, this just works. This really works for people.
That's right.
It's a super rewarding aspect of health that I didn't know was there.
Yeah, absolutely amazing. I think the keto or low carb diet is just very anti-inflammatory. So we're reducing all the inflammatory foods, and if you're ketogenic, then you've got ketones floating around. Having ketones will be anti-inflammatory as well. And even if you don't lose weight, then the anti-inflammatory action will reduce the aches and pains, reduce arthritis, reduce inflammation in the whole body, and quite often
100%.
It comes with all the health benefits other than weight loss.
Yes, let's just, you know, improve the space, our brain, our heart, you know, make those little improvements, and over time you really start to see that improve your whole, you know, possible future of chronic conditions that you may be walking into.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which, I wish younger people, you know, would see that.
Yeah.
It's often when you're a bit later in life that you consider it.
That's it. So this is a free 8-week program for your people.
Well, yes, it was. So that's now the funding that I was under finished. So we finished in September, unfortunately. So now my new challenge. I'm working in a medical practice, which is fantastic, and that's a lot about preventative health. But I also started Low-Carb Keto Ballarat, a Facebook page. So I guess I'm just hoping to find some like-minded people in general. I mean, if there is health professionals in that space, this area, I guess the next step is trying to find some people to collaborate with, and try and keep getting the message out to the people in the community. I don't think there's much out, you know, in the way of rural areas for people to do that sort of thing. So it makes it tricky.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? So Low Carb Keto Ballarat. Have you got any other practitioners or coaches or anyone that you have collaborated out in your way?
No, I mean, there isn't anyone that I know of. I asked around. I was lucky enough to get down to Low Carb Melbourne, which was amazing earlier in the year. I really enjoyed, meeting so many people like yourself there.
Yeah, that's where we met in Fitzroy in September. That was great to meet you.
It was so good. And I asked a couple of people there, you know, anyone you know in the Ballarat area? But as yet, no. But you you just never know. I just think I feel like health has to go in this direction.
Yes. Yep. Yep.
Our general health and what we seem to be doing doesn't seem to be making a huge difference.
Mm.
Our health is getting worse as a population, and I hope people are, I don't want them to be scared, but worried enough about that to be looking around and saying, I need to make a change.
Absolutely. And you've got teenagers, you said, is that right? How old are your kids?
Yeah, I've got a 16-year-old girl, and then I have twins, a boy and a girl, who are 14. So, and I'm, married to a farmer. That's been interesting too. I don't know how you find, cooking for a household, when you make all these big changes.
Yeah, how did they find it?
Yeah, so I guess that was pretty gradual, as well. So I think everything I sort of put in for myself first, things like making cauliflower mash. It's not necessarily great the first time. You got to perfect these things.
Okay.
And, making, cheese waffles or almond meal pancakes. So the better I got at, finding the right recipes for all those things, the more they're like, well, we're not missing out. We're still getting, edamame bean pasta. We're still getting cauliflower mash. We're still eating pancakes. It's still a pancake.
Okay. Yep. So they're happy to eat your low carb food?
Yeah. Yep. They're pretty good.
Yeah, that's great.
Most of our main meals don't have a high carb ingredient. And we took bread out of the household probably
well done.
about maybe, I'd say it's about a year now.
Okay,
that,
great.
We don't have bread. So that brought a new challenge, just, convenience, busy household.
Yeah.
Lunches, school lunches.
Yeah, what do you do for school lunches?
So most of the time on either Saturday or Sunday, I'll spend an hour or two and make probably a salad because the girls like a nice salad. I have a pretend like potato salad, but I just do roast cauliflower instead of potato, or, there's a couple of different salads we rotate between. Okay. And then my son loves anything quiche, zucchini slice, pizza muffin based. So I do that. That's in the fridge ready to go. And then I love like the Noshu brand brownies.
Okay.
Mostly sugar-free, things like that. I know how to make sugar-free blueberry muffins with my eyes closed.
Okay, great.
So we can do a couple of those things, and I know that, we're not overloading them with sugar when they're at school. Yeah. Don't get me wrong, they are 100% just normal teenagers and they eat lollies and chocolate wherever they can find it.
Yeah.
But I guess I'm hoping that even if they aren't listening, they're learning, and this is going to seep in, and one day it's going to hold them in good stead for their own health. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, absolutely. So my kids are almost 16 and almost 13.
Oh, similar.
Yeah, I've got two boys, but I must admit I still have bread in the house, and I sometimes get bread rolls for lunch.
Yeah, it's hard. Yeah.
It's hard for lunch. My kids don't eat breakfast, so they're intermittent fasting already.
Yeah.
But they would have a bread lunch, and but most dinners is low carb or keto, because I just can't be bothered making mashed potato. There's no bread in the dinner. I don't roast any more potatoes anymore. I used to roast potatoes for them, but now there's no more. They do have rice sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but most of them are meat meals.
Yeah. And I still encourage them to have some fruit, obviously. And,
yes,
I'm sure are the same. That's the sugar I'm happy for
Yep.
them to have.
Yes.
And when they say, why don't we have anything with sugar? Well, you do. You've got fruit right there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, you're still just teaching them that, you're getting the sweet thing. It's not in a packet, and I'm
Yeah.
sorry, but one day I hope you'll thank me
Yeah. Yeah.
for that.
My kids do have fruit, so they have mandarin and they have mango. We used to have one mango after dinner between the three of us,
Yeah.
and now
How
I have
good's a
the
mango?
tiny bits, and the kids have more. So it is hard, but I think they'll reap the benefit of it eventually.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Great.
Yeah.
So what sort of work are you doing now that your program is finished and you're working in the general practice?
Yeah, I mean, the general practice is amazing, and I have lots of opportunity to talk to people about where their health is at. And,
Hmm.
we have wonderful doctors there that, want people to make lifestyle changes
Mm,
as a part of their treatment. So, yeah, I help with, general day-to-day stuff of, taking your pathology and, wound care and all of that practical nursing stuff.
okay.
But we do get plenty of time to talk about lifestyle, which uh, that makes me happy. That something that I'm so passionate about.
Yep. Yep.
That people are still able to kind of get that benefit, and so many people at my workplace know that I'm passionate about that, and they'll come and
Okay.
go, "What about this? Is this good to eat?"
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so there's been a big low carb keto movement through our health service where a lot of people have mindfully cut back their sugar content, and I think it's amazing. I think people respond really well to suggestion of, this, you could do this, which is an easy, nice little swap,
Yep.
and you just swap a couple of things through your day and you're
Hmm.
really cutting back your sugar content and see how you feel.
Yep.
So
Yep.
there's good ways to ease in to that as well.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I talked to a few people recently. I think I said to you before that the last thing I had all my vices, my sugar gone, and all my high carb foods gone. But the last thing I sort of worked on was alcohol.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, that one just about over a year ago
Mm.
now, I was like, I think I'm going to try this
Mm-hmm.
and go with that. And so yeah, just over a year with no alcohol, which I think has been another amazing step forward in health and
Yeah.
just clearing the brain. And I guess when you're trying to take toxins out of everywhere else, it seems crazy then
Mm.
to try and keep this toxin in.
That's right. Yeah. That's amazing. Did you just decide to give up all of a sudden, or did you slowly, gradually cut back?
I think it was gradual in that I was trying very hard to still have it and swap it for low carb.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So for a long time, I was like, how can I still have this, but not have it affect my weight loss?
Mm-hmm.
And then I sort of realized, which I've known for a long time, that I don't really like having one drink. I would prefer to have four drinks rather. I don't see the point in one drink.
Yep.
So I found it hard to have that cut back version. It just didn't hit the spot. And I'm like, well, I don't think this really works for me
That's
in
right.
trying to be my healthier self. So that was a hard give up though. It wasn't easy by any
Yeah.
means. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. You definitely, your brain, works at it for a while saying, don't we normally do something now? Don't we normally grab a glass out or
Is it sometimes the same time every day, like 5 o'clock
yeah,
before
just that
dinner?
little niggle, just that
Yeah.
like don't we, normally just numb ourselves slightly? Oh
Mm,
no, let's not do that. Let's see how we go without. And I think, your body, I talk to lots of people and they say, yeah, you kind of find ways to numb emotions without even
yes,
trying to. You don't even know you're
absolutely.
doing it until you become open to it.
Yep.
And then you're like, oh, wow, yeah, I did do that for a long time.
Did you find different ways to distract yourself or go do something to not listen to your
Um,
mind wanting alcohol?
yeah, I think walking,
Yeah.
walking and nature,
Mm-hmm.
uh, I found are more important to me than I thought they were.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I mean, my family are always good to distract
Yeah.
me, but and my beautiful dog, so she's always, ready for a walk.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, I think I found enough ways to. I guess it's the same as sugar and okay, yeah, there might be a big chocolate mousse sitting there that everyone's eating, but you work your way forward. Okay, so I eat the chocolate mousse,
Yeah.
then I probably feel sick because I haven't had sugar for ages, and then
Yes.
I'm going to have the glucose is going to shoot up, and then I'm going to crash, and then I'm going to be hungry.
Yeah.
I'm not going to sleep well, and so I can easily work my way forward and go, it's not really worth it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. That's good telling yourself that.
Well, and that worked. That was exactly translatable to then alcohol because you go, okay, well, I could have the wine,
Mm.
but then what's going to happen? I've had one wine, but then you probably you'd want another one,
Yeah.
or you'd want to eat or whatever it may be. So,
Yeah.
and does it relax you? No, it doesn't.
You probably end up having four wines in the
Yeah,
end.
exactly. So just,
And
be honest with yourself and go, all right, well, I thought about that and I've thought about it rationally and I
mm,
make a really conscious decision to do this instead.
yep.
And I found it's a bit cheesy, but like it's a lot more of a peaceful way of living
Yep. Yep.
is,
Absolutely.
yeah, you've got a bit more control over the
Mm.
choices that you make,
Yep.
which is amazing. And I think maybe it's being older in my 40s thing, but I don't know. I'm not
Ab-
sure.
Absolutely. I think that's amazing. That's a really good way, much better way of living than to numb your emotions with alcohol and
Mm,
sugar. Absolutely.
yeah, I think so.
Yeah. And you're gaining health. You lost 30 kilos and you're spreading the word and you're starting a low carb keto Ballarat, spreading the word. That's amazing. That's great.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I'm still very passionate. I kind of feel like it's still a little bit of the beginning.
Yeah.
Even though I'm 2 years in,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, every few months sort of evolves to something else in this space.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not even so much just low carb keto, but that helping people find their health goals and finding what works for each person.
Yeah.
Not everyone responds the same way, and
No, that's right.
it's, yeah, but it's worth trying.
That's great. Well done for learning.
Thank you.
Have you got other plans on how you can expand your practice or how you can progress or learn more or something like that?
Yeah, I mean, definitely when I was down at Low Carb Melbourne,
Mm,
I talked to a few people about health coaching.
mm,
Um, but at the moment, just holding off and just seeing what happens.
mm-hmm.
Just leaving space open in my life for something to
Yep.
come along.
Okay.
But I definitely don't think more studies off the cards. I think that's probably where it'll go at some point when I can dive back into,
Okay.
some more study. But yeah, I'm still trying to find some like-minded local
Mm,
people. But I mean, it's such a word of mouth thing,
mm,
where even like the people I worked with over the last 12 months, they tell someone and then someone else comes and says to you, I'm very interested and
yeah,
I've
yeah,
been trying to do things for, so long and it hasn't worked. And
yeah.
I can see that so-and-so's, made a big difference in their life, and I would never turn anyone away. So, I think it's just good word of mouth to say, I'm absolutely here to help you improve your health. I don't want anyone to be getting 5 different chronic diseases and, end with a heart attack or stroke. Let's start and reverse.
Absolutely. Yeah. So can patients just make an appointment with you in your clinic? Is that how it works?
Unfortunately not.
No? Oh,
No, not at the moment, but they can definitely go to the Low Carb Keto Ballarat page and they can
okay.
send me a message, and yeah, we can. I'm definitely happy to just use my registered nurse and nutrition network advisor course training and help people that way for the moment. Yeah.
Great. All right. Fantastic. So hopefully people out in your way, near Ballarat and that area, they can contact you and get some help from you, and maybe even if it's just a support group meet up.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think that's just as good. Just, meet up, swap stories, swap what works, inspire each other to keep going.
Yeah,
Um,
community support is so important, and quite often it's hard doing low carb keto with the whole society so carb heavy. It's a difficult journey, and having
it's
support,
a hard,
yeah.
yeah, it's a hard space to be in, um, when we're waiting for guidelines to catch up to
Mm,
this. There's so much science there. There's some amazing people advocating for it, and the people that were speaking at Low Carb Melbourne, like they're so passionate about it. They are
mm,
so intelligent. It's just a matter of, getting rid of the politics and the agendas and just make way for actual real change. And I'm really hopeful that, you know, there's so many people working in that space to make that happen. And even if we can see some small changes along the way, which we have, I mean, like defeat diabetes, working with Diabetes Australia, like there's
yes.
amazing steps forward that's already happening.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
if the guidelines can come up and meet us halfway, then
Mm,
absolutely, then I've got more scope as, a practice nurse, and
yeah,
we have more behind us that we can really make a difference with people.
absolutely. Yeah. Well done on your work, Petrina.
Thank you. You too.
Oh, thank you. Trying very hard to try and spread the word, and that's why there's podcasts and YouTubes and online courses.
Yeah, good job.
Well done to both of us.
Yeah, yeah, that's it.
All right, so if people want to get in touch with you, they follow the Low Carb Keto Ballarat.
Yep, that's it.
Fantastic. All right. Well, thank you very much for coming on to my podcast, Prescribing Lifestyle, to talk about how we can improve your health with just by looking into lifestyle, improving nutrition, improving lifestyle.
Wow, thank you so much.
So thank you everyone for listening and staying tuned. As I always say, if you don't look after yourself, you can't look after anybody else. Until next time, I'll bring to you another guest with interesting experiences and words to spread the word. Thank you, Petrina, and thank you all the listeners. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Prescribing Lifestyle Podcast. Before we wrap up, I have an exciting news to share. I have a new ebook called Low-Carb Made Easy. It's now available. This guide is perfect for anyone looking to dive into the low-carb lifestyle. Inside, you'll find the basic theory behind low-carb eating, a detailed food list, practical meal plan, and a variety of delicious recipes. It's designed to make a journey to better health easier, simpler, and enjoyable. For those who prefer a hard copy, head over to my website and register your interest using the link provided. My website is www.mlcclinic.com.au. Head to online store. Remember, the information shared in this podcast, it's for educational purposes only and not proper medical advice. Always consult your medical professional before making any changes to your lifestyle and diet, or you can come and see me in Melbourne Low-Carb Clinic. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and stay connected with us on social media. Your feedback will help us improve and reach more listeners. Lastly, if you found this episode helpful, please share it with your friends and family. Together, we can make a positive impact to our health and our communities. Thanks again for listening, and as always, stay healthy and happy. Until next time.